over your nice suit, and they'll take off your suit, and then they'll lie down on top of your suit, and soon your suit is completely scrunched and spoiled. So don't do that with shiksus. Okay.
Can I comment on anything you said so far?
Please, everything.
Okay, so you're talking about separation.
Mm-hmm.
That it's a difference between this and that.
Mm-hmm.
The opposite of separation is, like you touched on it, is egalitarianism.
Yeah.
Right? Torah comes and says, no, you can't, this is the opposite of secularism. Because in the secular world, it's like one world, one people, please.
Yeah, ebony and ivory. Side
We're
by
all the
side on my
same.
piano keyboard. Why can't we?
You know, and it's like the melting pot in America. Let's become one people, please. Like, let's just melt and everybody...
There are no red states and there are no blue states. There are only the United States.
We should never go to war against Arab countries.
Yeah. Imagine there's no heaven, no hell below us, above us only sky.
Right. So Torah comes and says, no, we're not a melting pot. You know what we are? We're a what's it called? A mixed,
Kadosh. Or
no, a mixed bowl of salad or something. What are they? What's the opposite of a melting pot? Was a mixed salad?
Yeah, mixed
salad bowl. We're a salad bowl.
Toss salad.
We're that Jews do not blend with other people. There's two types of people in this world, Jews and non-Jews, and we're not supposed to cross that line in terms of, as you know, we do. You know, you can be friends with non-Jews.
Right, but don't give them your vital bodily fluids.
Yeah, we don't marry them.
Don't spill your seed on them.
We don't marry them. We don't do that. We don't let them take our.
We don't let them rob us.
Take our suits off.
Take our suits off and seduce us away from the path of Hashem.
You can be friends with them though. There's no problem.
Yeah,
with that.
but no funny business.
But you know, we're not the same, right? That's the point. And
I'll teach Alexander technique to a non-Jew, but no funny business. We're not going to do naughty Alexander. We're not going to do Alexander for seduction. No, no, no. Nothing but the straight and narrow for old Levi ben Abraham.
Right. And Purim yesterday was a day that reminds us of that, right?
Scratch a guy, you got an anti-Semite. Not always true, but
everybody in the Megillah is referred to by what they are. Mordechai the Jew, Haman the Agagi, right?
Levi Hasadok, thank you.
You know, it's like, you know, be Juan Williams the Schwarzer. You know, everybody is identified by what they are, right? That's what, it's not one people. It was one, and this is like the proof of it is it starts off and it says it's really one country, right? It was all Persia at the time, right? 127 provinces, all Persia. Right? No. Everybody keeps their ethnicity. That's the lesson. That's how we are. We're all going to remain different, and liberals are just going to have to deal with it.
In the past life, I had this idea of making a series of educational porn films that would help eroticize members of the same ethnic group to each other. So I'd make these films to encourage like Jews to mate with Jews, and blacks to mate with blacks, Latinos to mate with Latinos, and like Japanese Americans to mate with Japanese Americans. And I'd eroticize them to each other in their own group, because too often we think, oh, you know, that strapping black lass, that's the way I need to go, or there's nothing wrong with me that a big black woman couldn't take care of. But and we often turn our backs on our own sisters in our own group, and we think, no, I don't want a Jewish sister, I want a black sister. And so I thought it'd be really important to eroticize each other, in our own groups, because sometimes it's much more challenging to be erotically excited to your own group.
Okay, let's move to the next thing.
Thank you, sports fans.
Let's bring up. I want to bring up the chat room, see how many people we offended and they left. Nope, they're hanging in there. Didn't Solomon marry non-Jews? He married 700 wives. We'll talk about that some other time. It's not for now.
Yeah. Okay, sports fans. I got a lot to say on this week's Parashat.
Okay, keep going.
Since the destruction of the temples, the aesthetic has kind of lost out in Judaism. So it used to be we had this beautiful temple where we worship God. We used to make rock music there to Hashem.
Did?
Well, we made music.
Okay.
Maybe there were rocks around. And we really got into the musical instruments on Shabbat, and we you know, we had this beautiful temple, and like art was used to serve God. We only had the best looking priests. We didn't have those like crippled ones. We didn't have like, you know, Quasimodo priests coming up bringing the sacrifice, you know, like this. No, like we only had the good looking priests who were like,
careful, I got people downstairs going to fit.
totally strapping, you know, and kind of like, okay, so we had the best. Now, since the destruction of the temples, we haven't had musical instruments allowed on Shabbat. We haven't had the temples.
Right.
And kind of the aesthetic is kind of lost out in Judaism. So like, you go to a yeshiva and you say, oh, Rebbe, I want to take some time off to do my paintings. Like, that wouldn't go down real well. And like, if you wanted to see an exhibition of Hillel's works, you know, you'd go to the Talmud. You wouldn't like look for his watercolors. So kind of the aesthetic has lost importance. So that now those Jews who are most interested in aesthetics and art and music and museums, they tend to be the secular Jews, while the religious Jews have kind of largely shunned and like, oh, the aesthetic, that's goyish.
That's not completely true.
No, it's not completely, but it's general tendencies.
Okay. Because there are...
Like, do you paint watercolors in your spare time?
No, but I'm a comedian.
No, but you don't paint watercolors.
No, but I was involved in a lot of comedic stuff. I make comedy videos. I was on stage. I was in a movie. You know, you got all these singers and these rap guys. I mean, I know a lot from musicians. Go to the Happy Minion here. There's like wall-to-wall from me musician guys. You know, so I mean, it does exist. Probably not as much as it did, right? The difference is back then, like David Melech played like the harp and he recorded song. You don't really see the gedoling, you know.
Yeah, they don't tend to rock out to,
you know, right in the, you know.
Like Ravel Yasha doesn't play the guitar.
Well, no, if he did, that would change things quite a bit. That would change things quite a bit. You know, it would definitely change things. But I got to tell you something. I got to tell you something. And I'm going to be honest with you right here. I wrote about this in my book. That when I was in Eretz Israel, I was a follower of Rabbi Avigdor Miller, and he sent me to when I was in Eretz Israel to go talk to somebody. It was Rav Mordechai Dolinsky who wrote this book. Okay, and Rav Mordechai Dolinsky, I was in his sukkah, and I was at his party for Purim. And he brings out the accordion, and he sings and he plays songs, you know. And the guy was a Rav.
And he used to play with the Grateful Dead.
Oh.
Maybe not.
No, he was the fifth Beatle.
He was the fifth Beatle.
So I mean, I did see that was like the one time I saw a Rav. I mean, this guy was a Rav. You know, singing and playing instruments and stuff. I mean, it's probably done more often than we realize, but it's not done, let's say, as prominently as David Melech, you know, who played the harp and recorded all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But somebody's out there. Look at Mordechai Ben David. These guys are writing songs that we sing all the time. Like you go into shul and you sing these tunes, right? Somebody wrote those. You know what I mean? Like you go to a shul, like they sing something, right?
I'm talking more about visual art.
Oh, visual art.
Paintings and
That's
sculpture.
a little less... Oh, well, sculpture is kind of like iffy because there's a lot of people who say that you shouldn't do sculpture, period. But, you know, because it makes like a graven image or whatever, like a sculpture. But a painting, let's say, just regular art like that, it's done, but it's probably not as prevalent as it would be in the secular world. That's all.
Or what it was like when we had a temple, then, like the temple was...
Was it known for paintings?
I don't know if paintings, but it was aesthetically, visually pleasing.
Oh, have you ever been to like a really a Sephardi shul, like a Syrian shul, or they do a lot of they do a lot of I think you'd like they care about the aesthetics. They spend a lot of money, you know, jazzing the place up. Whereas an Ashkenazi shul, it's just like, you know, you got four walls, you know.
I think because I mainly go to Ashkenazi shuls with four walls, I think that's why I'm so moved when I meet a beautiful woman.
Oh, okay. All right, next thing.
So if you don't have beauty serving God, it will serve secular ends. So we're hardwired to be attracted to beauty. If more beautiful unmarried women would go to shul, more men would go to shul. My primary determinant for where I pray is, are there hot single chicks around? This kept me going to yoga for years.
That should be the last thing on your mind. Can we talk about that?
Please.
That should be the last thing on your mind.
Chicks?
Yeah. When
I
you
go
go
to
to